What's going on, everybody? What's going on, man? Welcome to Black Man Unfiltered Network. This is the One and One Sports Show. Appreciate y'all for coming out. My name is Dante.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Shawnee.
So, man, it's basically as of right now, it's pretty. We got it pretty basketball heavy. I mean, the finals do start tomorrow. We got a little recap of like the Eastern Conference Finals, that Game 7. Appreciate you, Poppy. Appreciate you showing up, man. Telling everybody to subscribe and like the channel, man. We appreciate that. We appreciate everybody's support we've been getting. But we're gonna give a recap of that. Kind of talk about a little bit about how like things are gonna go, because if you think about it, the Warriors missed the playoffs 2 years consecutively, and now they're in the finals. So it's kind of one of those deals where like you didn't know if they were going to get back and Clay coming back. But Shawnee actually brought up an interesting football topic from I don't know. Sometimes he can be a good analyst. Sometimes he can be a troll. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and lead off with that because I know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. So basically, the topic it's an NFL topic. We just figured we'll start off with that real quick before you already know it's gonna be a heavy NBA since we are in the heart of NBA postseason. But I wanted to talk about. There was a list that ESPN's Dan Orlovsky put out. He actually tweeted out, and he basically classified. It's basically dealing with the quarterbacks, but he pretty much put them in two, but it's really three different categories. The first category, he has QBs. You win games because of basically. A team will basically win the game because of that particular QB. The other category has QBs you win games with. Basically just AKA game manager QBs. They don't really, as long as they don't do nothing to screw the game up, their team as a whole will go out and win the game. And he listed QBs for both of those two categories. For the last one, he didn't even bother listing no QBs. He just put everyone else you win in spite of. So it's just, I guess for the Texans, I guess Davis Mills. If ever they do win a game, they only won like 4 games last year. But quarterbacks, that's basically on that level. So I wanted to look at the main one, the one he said QBs that you win with, or basically, no, not QBs you win with, QBs that win games for their teams. And the names he has on there, usually the heavy hitters, Josh Allen. He already has Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Matthew Stafford. Me personally, I agree with all those QBs. All those QBs can lead their team to victories. Only thing about it, they may lead them down the field too fast and they score, and then the other team is in their defense has to stop the other quarterback. And, but I've seen all these QBs on multiple occasions lead their team to end of game victories. Now, Lamar Jackson, he's by far probably the most dynamic on here as far as everybody else is pretty much traditional. Yeah, they mobile. But even Deshaun Watson, he kind of, when he leads comebacks, he traditionally does it with his arm. Lamar Jackson will just do it with both. And sometimes if he's having a bad off day, he just, okay, I'm not, my throws are not hitting right now. And he would just take over with his legs. I think I've seen him do that with the Titans. He just do any. Lamar Jackson to me is just a winner. He just has the capability of doing it pretty much whichever way is hot. His legs are always going to be hot. But if his arm is, I guess if he's just not having a good day throwing it with the ball, he would just go straight to his legs. But I have no, I guess, anything against all the other names, because I believe all these quarterbacks that he lists, they do win games for their respective teams. Now I know, cause I believe he sent this tweet out, this list out early this morning. Yeah, yesterday, yeah. So it's been a lot of people, especially the ESPN and radio, They had you've been hearing several thoughts about it since. Some of them think he's crazy or whatnot. Well, I don't think he's too far off on this list. And then if we go to the next one real quick, the games that you win with, QBs that win games with, basically because they are on basically good teams. You got Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Baker Mayfield, Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, who I believe in his younger days he could have been potentially
He
on the
definitely
other
was.
list.
He's a former MVP.
Yeah, exactly. Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Kyler Murray, and Jimmy G. Kyler Murray, I think he can't. I think he's knocking on the door. He just has to
Yeah,
stay healthy. And with Dak, my whole thing about with Dak was since his rookie, well, no, since he really got Amari as his receiver, because I remember he had this incredible rookie season. He actually took a step back in 2017 and
half of
beginning of
18.
2018. And then as soon as he got Amari Cooper, you saw his numbers started improving. And he was literally improving every season until last season. I have no idea what happened. People, you would like to believe it was a funk. Because it happened like around week 6, week 7. So like, okay, this is a funk. He'll get back sometime. He'll catch his groove back. He never did. So now he's kind of like basically regressed to a point that we just don't know how he's going to perform next season. And then to top it off, I think the main player that is responsible for Dak Prescott's success was Amari Cooper, and they traded him. So now it kind of feels like ground zero again because Dak, he needs a receiver with a good, route running abilities and all that. He's not, he could be accurate, but he's not the most accurate. And then he kind of waits on that. He's gotten better over the years, but he kind of waits on that
Yeah,
window to get
yeah.
bigger before he likes to
waits
throw
for
his passes.
he waits for like the perfect window. And
Yeah.
sometimes he doesn't like to throw it in the coverage. It's just that, I mean, for the most part, and like you said, we was coming up with topics, and it's basketball heavy. They are NFL. He does an NFL show, and NFL is a 365 business. He basically at this point you're waiting to see if anybody got post you one cut, and you're waiting, for things like that. Maybe another trade, like the Buccaneers picked up Akeem Hicks, so that's gonna help their interior. And then, their formula, which is, hey, you're not going to really run on us, and we're going to force you to pass, and we're going to send pressure. But my few gripes with, like, if you want to put Dak on that list, I'm cool with it. I wouldn't put him on that list. I feel like to be honestly, I feel like it's more than just 2-3 tiers, because he did put at the end of the second tier, everyone else is win in spite of unknown because of age. That's what I would put Davis Mills in, because he played well enough to be like, look, we're not going to, normally teams are quarterback thirsty. And I applaud every NFL team that needed a quarterback that didn't reach and take one. Although I thought like Malik Willis should have went higher. I wouldn't be mad if he went later in the first round, but taking like Pickett where he went, that's where he needed to go. With stable organization like the Steelers, he'll probably be solid. He might look even better because they know how to, whatever they do in Pittsburgh, they know how to develop receivers. And so I felt like, okay, you have quarterbacks where it's like make it into another list where, okay, you have that list, but maybe it's another one, because I feel like when you put Josh Allen and Joe Burrow got up there quickly because he did lead the team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like it's a little bit of, people might not want to admit it, but it's like we're further enough away. There was a little bit of magic in that, a little bit of luck. And I don't know if that's going to be able to just continue to go. But, I mean, they're in a tough division, so if they make it out of that and they're on top, cool. So I'm cool. Okay, you put Burrow there. You put a unanimous MVP and Lamar Jackson there. Cool. You put a Patrick Mahomes on there. Hard stop. Well, Brady, you put Brady in there off the emeritus. Just off the fact of you put him in there. Even though the last time we saw him, it was getting ugly, and then he made a comeback. So I'm cool with those. Everyone else, maybe even Watson, but Watson is kind of like, I don't even, especially with another allegation, I really don't like to bring his name up. That's the first thing my mind goes to is it's like, it goes to that. And Cleveland, you will go down in history as, if he can't play for an extended period, it's going to be bad on them as far as the talk shows and just looking bad. The women's organizations, it's going to be a bad look. You better hope he plays and plays his butt off. But I feel like maybe after Watson and Wilson, you know, and of course Rodgers, you kind of have a separation. Even Herbert, I mean, for that matter, Herbert, Carr, because I feel like as much as Carr, I'll say this: he just made the playoffs, and then for the first time since 2014, when that's the season where he was looking like an MVP candidate, got hurt, and then he started his first playoff game. I have a problem with you putting a guy that started in his, we know it's because of injury for his first playoff game, and he was drafted in 20. I think he was drafted. Was he drafted in 2013? Or was he drafted before that? He's been in the league a long time as a veteran. I think he's going on his third contract. So that one is just like, okay, that's a hole in it. Justin Herbert, if we're going by game, I don't like the quarterback win stats, but you have a lot of people here that have made the postseason multiple times. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take Herbert. We're gonna move for me, and just for the sake of this, we'll move him off of this because hey, you've never made the playoffs. And I'm sorry, you play in one of the toughest divisions that we've seen on paper that we've seen. So, I mean, if you make it, you make it. If not, Wilson, I give him the respect. Stafford is another one. The glow.
Yeah, Stafford on there because Orlovsky loves Stafford. That's why he's on there.
He loves him, but it's one of those deals. And I'm not gonna say this is not all original, but it's definitely something I thought. I'm driving in to work, and I'm like, if Stafford was so special, why did he have to get out of Detroit for us to see the special? If you put Tom Brady in Detroit, does he make it work? If you put Aaron Rodgers in Detroit, does he make it work? And it's kind of like, I've always said it. Hey, I won't do the Dak and Matthew Stafford thing. I'm glad I'm not, so I won't get on old takes exposed. I'm glad you can't find it, or maybe you can. Hey, you put them above Dak all day. But some of these guys, I say from Dak Prescott to David Carr to Matthew Stafford, those are guys at the high end of whatever other list you want to have. And Ryan Tannehill is closer towards the bottom because, he's kind of shown points of inconsistency. And so all of them have things to prove. Like Matthew Stafford, I love it that he won a Super Bowl. He's aggressive. Can you cut down the turnovers? Because if we're going to be honest about it, if Jaquiski Tartt can catch, he's not in the Super Bowl. And then everybody looks to see, oh, yeah, he led the league in picks. That's been a problem all year. He has that wonderful arm that he's had since Highland Park, and he's just going to put the ball in places where, you probably shouldn't throw that ball. He's one of those guys.
He's
so
a
it's just like
gunslinger.
that, a guy like that, while he can make that play, he can lose it for you. The rest of the guys that I named, they normally aren't going to make it. And Lamar Jackson is one that I keep there because of the special ability, and I know the passing, everyone says the passing has to come. I felt like the passing was coming, but I do think they put a lot on his plate last year, and it was a season full of injuries. So if you want to drop him, I can understand it. But for me, I have great respect for him, and I'll keep him there. And as far as the other list, like I can understand it with Tua, but it's just for me, sometimes seeing like the Dax, even if you put Carr in them and Herbert, and seeing them by Mac Jones and Tua, that's just a problem for me. But I know what he's doing. He likes to troll. He likes to troll, and I'll say this as a Cowboys fan, I'm glad he's on the list like this, and it's going to the point, and it's at the point where it's like, hey, the Eagles have so much momentum. They have so much momentum, and they're going to do great. My only question is, I would like to bring this list up to Dan Orlovsky when he brings up who's going to win the division. What's going on, Jay? When he tells us who's going to win the division, why on earth would you have the quarterback that's not on any of these lists? You can't find Jalen Hurts' name. So he's clearly on either the third list or the second list because you're banking on AJ Brown, you're banking on Devontae Smith, and you banking on this defense that they've improved with the free agency signings in the draft to carry this quarterback, that and the running game. So I kind of feel like sometimes that's why I don't respect him. Like he can break down a play like no other. But the whole point of sticking to these bits. I mean, he's the football Stephen A. Like you're going with these bits, and it's just like, bro, just keep it honest and keep it real. Like it's some of these guys that have a lot to prove. Dak still has a lot to prove as far as, hey, can you win against better teams? Like he mentioned, 6-6 outside of the division, which someone also mentioned that somebody else was 6-6 out of that division. That was Aaron Rodgers. And it's just kind of like, hey, what you have to do is he has to win those difficult games. He has to. And, that's basically the next point he has to do. But having guys like Herbert above him that haven't even been there, I mean, if you say so.
Yeah, folks has always been high on Herbert, I guess, since he surprised everybody when he came before the team. And like I say with Dak, I think, well, I don't know if even if he would have had a season like he had 2 seasons ago, I still wouldn't think they would put him on the first list. But I think the way it ended last season, yeah, he just fell off. He fell off.
He fell off, and it was that calf injury. Like the best moment of the season ended up being that touchdown against the Pats, winning in overtime. You could see him limp, and you're like, oh, he's gonna be cool. And then when you seen him come back, and you saw the sacks right near the line of scrimmage, that's like indecisiveness, non-explosion. And it was just kind of one of those deals to where, like, look, man, at this point, we kind of got away from it because he looked good early. It's like, hey, he came back from the ankle injury. He dealt with other injuries. He was throwing too much, so the shoulder was hurt going into the year. Battled it out, played it, probably got a cortisone shot. And it's like now, hey, healthy offseason. You got a first-round pick in Lamb. It's not like you left with nothing since Amari's gone. And I've seen some rumblings. It might have been one of those you let Amari go early because it's May or now June. And I saw him running routes, and I was like, damn, Amari looked kind of old. if you didn't know it was Amari Cooper, you'd be kind of like. So
well, he only like what, 25?
He's young.
20,
might be like 27.
Yeah, that dude is young. I mean, he's been in the league for a nice bit.
Yeah. Him and Calvin Ridley the same age, which is one of those weird deals. And it's like, we're gonna see if Lamb is gonna step up and be that guy. Can he have more anticipation on the throws? Gallup is out. You got another young receiver you like. I mean, you got a tight end that you like. I mean, we know Tyron Smith is gonna get hurt. He's gonna have to figure it out. This is gonna be another year where it's just like, hey, are you gonna win the big games or not? It's kind of like we know how to talk, the song and dance. And for some people, even winning big games against a good team is not gonna be enough. It's gonna come January. But
that's me. I look at the season with football, basketball, even baseball. I want my team to play their best ball towards the end of the season. Yes. If they beat a good team, during the regular season, like in the middle or early in the season, it's a good win. I don't make too much of it. You just had a good, especially in football, it's only one game. They probably had a bad game. You had a good game. So you move on. But when the playoffs start and they playing hotter football and you can't depend on that week 4 win, So I've never been a person who gets so high on a regular season win and then all of a sudden you limping in the playoffs. But like actually the best performance I saw Dak last year was the first game of the season, and it came in a loss.
Yeah.
So
that one was a good one. I say that one against the Patriots just because
Patriots was good because he looked like he was always in control of what was going on. Patriots says it was they gave him a gift because they actually dropped that one pass that could have kind of sealed the game for him. But that's football. You got to make the plays.
I think they helped him taking away Cooper, or trying to take away the run, and that helped them a lot. But man, I appreciate you. I appreciate Dan for doing that. Got a nice look, got a little football talk in here. But first things first, Jay. I'm gonna save my commentary to after you talk. I'm gonna let Poppy talk, I'm gonna let Shiny talk, because I know how I feel about it. Hell of an effort, but how do you feel, first things first, about the shot Jimmy took? I've seen a lot of takes on it. How do you feel about it, man?
First of all, ignore anything that the sports people say because they're all idiots unless they're the actual player. That's all I care about. That's number one. Number two, I'm okay with Jimmy taking a shot because he's the only one throughout this series who's been aggressive. Overall, Bam showed up like 2 games, game 3, and then last game, a little bit. Well, he should have been there for the whole series. But Jimmy taking the shot, I am cool with it. It took me a minute to really process, but if you're gonna let anybody take the shot, it should be him because he's the one to be able to get the shots off majority of the series. Maybe one bad game when they let him steamroll them or 2, but even throughout some of those games, he was still being productive and putting up points. Not to the degree where he had 241 games, but he was still putting up points. So I think he is the leader of the team. You should let him close it out. Now, granted, a case and I hear both sides of this. He could have run up to the post, try to get a foul on from Al Horford, but Al Horford ain't smart enough. If he's smart, he wasn't gonna foul Jimmy and try to get the shot off. But the thing is, I mean, either way, you take a big gamble. Either way, making the shot or going into the post. So it's like I'm cool with him making the shot overall. Now, is there another question on top of that one you wanted to ask me?
Nah, just that was just the main one. I mean, I was gonna get into some stuff later about what you would like to see y'all do to get to move forward. But
honestly, before we let Poppy go, honestly, and this is just a shot at everybody. Besides Jimmy, and you said you're right, I can't get on Bam on this game. You're right, I can't. Those two can't get on. Laurie, go back to the gym and fucking learn how to shoot threes. Freaking Max Strus, he gets on my goddamn nerves. He's like, is almost as bad as Duncan. Almost. I'm gonna say that because, dude, you can shoot threes better than Duncan right now. Why? Like I'm wondering, like it's like the efficiency was not there and it was lackluster on my end. And like I said, they're my team, yeah. But guess what? I gotta call. Listen, I'm a cynic. I gotta call out bullshit when it needs to be said about my team. Or I'm sorry, because I can't be no bandwagon fan. Like that's not me. I gotta call out bullshit. My team fuck up. Jimmy's the only one I really don't have anything bad to say about. If we're gonna be real, he carried them to the finals. I'm gonna be real. He carried them there, and he forced a game. And he literally forced a game 7. And honestly, if that shot had gone in, it would maybe if it didn't go in, if it went to the post, it would have been an overtime. If they can get defense on there going, and then they'd have another shot to close it out with these guys. But it was just poor. It was poor scoring, and they just kept running the ball. It's similar to the Patriots. You keep running the ball, try to get to the goal against the Seahawks. But it was not a lot of effort, just really with Jimmy. Other than that, man, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Poppy, what you got to speak on it, man?
Seems like you on the opposite.
Yo, how's everybody doing today?
Man, doing good, man. Appreciate you coming out, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I don't know what Jay is talking about, man, but that was like the most terrible 3-point shot I ever seen in my life. Like, I just don't understand why this man, Jimmy Butler, which I like, all they need is a bucket to tie the game. What is his strength? Jimmy Bucket's strength is the mid-range game, right? And he's a good free throw shooter, right? He's like over 85%, something like that. Why don't you go to the mid-range and try and go to the strength of your game, yo? He's like a 20. He's like a 20-something percent 3-point shooter. He's like a 24, bro. Yo, I think I can shoot better than him. I haven't played in a while. Like 20. You know how terrible you got to be in the NBA to shoot 24% from 3. So he played good, but those shots, man, they were terrible. And then they were like he was running on a break. He was just bad, man. Anybody back then, he should have given it to the white boy at least. I forgot his name. Number 3, I think it is. Yes, he's he's like a 40% shooter. Yes, him.
Yeah,
he's like a 40%. Yeah, he just finished making a 3, literally the last possession, right? He's the reason why the game got to 2 points.
Yeah.
What?
No. One of them. I thought you meant the one shot that they had to retract, which was BS.
That's a conversation for another day, man. Yeah, that was just weird to me. I didn't even notice until like 2 quarters later. To be honest with you,
and he called that weird. Yeah, he said the same thing you said.
And Jimmy, man, I don't know what he was thinking. He wanted to me from the outside looking in, he was gonna play the hero, man. That's what I'm looking at. He was gonna play the hero. He didn't want to go to overtime. He instead going for the short. Even though that he would have went to the mid range, that doesn't mean he wouldn't make it. But at least it's a makeable shot and play into his strength, which is the mid range. He's very good at that. He's extremely good at that.
I think when he took that 3-pointer, because he made several threes.
The game.
I think in Game 7, and he made a couple of them in Game 6. So I guess he was feeling himself.
Yeah.
Game 6, he was good.
Yeah, but I don't really have a problem. Now I understand what Poppy's talking about. I don't really care too much about that whole hero 3 ball, but it's really when it's a play off a timeout and you basically just give it to the ball, basically the best player. They just sitting there dribbling, playing with the ball, and then launch up a 3. I'm like, if that's the best y'all could have drawn up, that's the best play y'all could have drawn up. That's the hero ball I hate. With Jimmy, I don't necessarily have a problem because, I guess if you look at all that whole highlight, for the most part, yeah, it was basically him versus Horford. Horford broke down, getting ready for, Jimmy to potentially make his way towards the basket.
Yeah.
Jimmy, and like they say, the NBA players, they work on that particular 3-point shot all the time. That running up the court. So you can see Jimmy get his feet under him to shoot that 3. My thing is, because the way I guess Miami had a little spurt. They were making some stops, but it was just coming on spurts. They wasn't really doing that consistent. So if he would have made that 3, I think it was still like 13 seconds left on the clock, and Boston could have ran.
They would have been ahead by 1.
They would have had their play. And the way Boston was kind of moving the ball and whatnot, I think Boston would have got off a decent shot. So I don't have a problem with him pulling up the 3, but I kind of wish that. I guess it's 2020 now, because I kind of wish he kind of would have backed it down and let a little bit more time come off the clock, not all the way down, but just a little bit. Because there was so much time. Even if he would have made that shot, I believe Boston still would have won that game because their offense was looking more, more
productive.
And exactly. Now Boston, this series and against Milwaukee, they do have a bad habit of not closing games good.
Bro, 6. I just got to talk about Game 6 on that.
Yeah, they can play.
I thought they were going to close that out. To be honest.
They should. I think, man, there was some games they should even make it probably to the Eastern Conference Finals. If Milwaukee would have, I forgot what game. I don't know if that was 2 or 3. But
3,
I don't think they're gonna be able to get away with that with the Warriors.
No.
But yeah, I don't have an ultimate issue with the Butler shot. I was just worried, even if he would have made it, there was still a significant amount of time left on that clock.
Like 8 seconds or 11 seconds left.
Exactly, and Boston offense was productive enough. I still think Boston probably would have pulled it out.
Yeah, probably would have got a shot into the post. I would believe that. So, somebody would have took the shot, Marcus Smart, or let it be. I don't care about
the way they were moving the ball.
One of them cats. Yeah, they would have got it in.
This is one of the reasons why I had an issue with it, and this was from going back. I had an issue at it at the time because if that's not your shot, with that miss at the time, he was 1 for 3 from 3. Overall, he was 1 for 4. Mid-range is your game. The guy's backing up. If he's backing up and you stop and do a pull-up mid-range, or if you drive into the rack and it's 16 seconds on the clock, this is the most important possession of the season, and you're down 2 points. You need to tie the game or get a good 3 to try to take the lead. And if you drain more time and you get the 3 and you hit it with like a few seconds left, even better. So they were down 13 with 3:35 left, and Celtics had 98. The Celtics did not score again until they missed that shot and they fouled them and they went to the line. So there was surmise. There was no guarantee that I've seen the Celtics in those situations. If you play Jason Tatum, he's going to go to that sidestep 3. So if you play him to that and you know it's that situation, and you double him, you're gonna either make Jaylen Brown have to step up and make a play, or Marcus Smart make one of those what the hell threes. But he does make those, like
you just lost him
up. They leave him open, and it's just like he'll make them and he'll get on a roll and he'll keep them honest. Kind of like similar to how Draymond used to do in the first run the Warriors had. Like Draymond would just hit some of those threes. But the fact of, like they always say, my brother plays AAU ball. One more. Get the ball, drive it, kick it, pass it, one more. Move the ball. Like one of the reasons why the Warriors are where they at is moving the basketball. Shawty, you talk about it all the time. When they get to moving that ball, the ball is faster than the man. It's gonna be tough. That is a tough team to beat. And I feel like you just could have got a better shot. The only thing is, I'm glad people aren't leaving it totally on this. He had a phenomenal series for them to have that at Game 7. He played like crap in games 4 and games 5. Those were games
4 and 5. Watching the whole team did. I don't just say Jimmy. The whole team. It was terrible. That's what made me when I want to participate and watch those games.
But what he did Game 6 to get them there was amazing. Like that performance he put on Game 6, I was working, and he definitely slowed up my shift because I'm like, yo, he's killing it.
He slowed up your shift. That's funny.
Because I'm like, look, man, like no other. I hate the Celtics. There's not a lot of basketball teams that I dislike, but I can't stand the Celtics as a Lakers fan.
I can't either, man. That's the time I can't stand them, but I don't hate them. And I'll say this: shout out to the Celtics. They won fair and square. They were the better team. Clearly, my team was injured, and they got a lot of fucking work to do. Because honestly, Tyler Hero is the one. Honestly, out of everybody who pisses me off, Tyler Hero pissed me off. He's the one that pissed me off.
He's a guy.
I'm talking about the entire playoffs. He pissed me off.
He's somebody that, and teams got to learn this. And obviously, the Celtics proved it wrong. There comes a time when you take a guy like, even though he's a really good player, I don't know if he's an All-NBA level player. You take a Jaylen Brown, you take a Tyler Hero, or Jaylen Brown is much better than Tyler Hero. You take guys like that, and you package them in a deal, you get a better player. Because you just imagine a better player with Jason Tatum. Imagine a better player with Jimmy Butler. Like to see Joel Embiid be like, man, Jimmy need another star. And it was just like, for him to put that, knowing that they played together, like, I don't know if that would be some mending of the fences, but I'm pretty sure after what Jimmy just saw, I bet you he would, because there were games where they left him all out there. And I've said it, hey, I don't feel like he's a superstar, but I can tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing about him. He's a guy that, with the performance he's been putting up and him to taking him to the finals before, he can do it again, and he's going to find himself in the Hall of Fame. Because, I mean,
I agree.
His playoff performances have been outstanding. I'm not here for any more slander. I won't get on the superstar talk thing. What I will say is, if he gets another guy, it's over. It's going to be real tough out east.
I believe that Jimmy Butler could be the best team he could be the best player on a championship team.
I
believe he can be. Now the team has to be better.
Nah.
Yeah,
I believe the team
better.
Yeah,
like if
he can't be like super, like a gap. But if he's on a good team, because Jimmy Butler can close with the best of them.
Especially with Miami. Like I give a player that I'm not. People are higher on him than I am. Like I was high on him, and then when I looked at him, and I was like, okay, so he's a volume scorer. He doesn't really make anybody better. I guess he's okay on defense, but people swear he's a superstar. Bradley Beal.
I disagree, bro.
Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal, put him on the Heat. He's not the best player. He's the second best player, but he's more consistent than the Tyler Hero. Excuse me. He's more consistent, and so he's gonna be there to make enough plays and enough offense. Jimmy just needed somebody to give me a few more buckets. But what Miami did is they did, and I was waiting for them to get killed on it, and now they're gonna get killed on it in the offseason. Everyone griped about how the Lakers got all these old guys. Two of the players that the Heat picked up, key pieces, maybe if you pick up one, maybe not the other, Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. Both guys that have won a championship, but they long in the tooth, man. They one of them guys, them vets that's like, they don't really get going and getting it going until like March, because they know they get ready for the finish line. And so I feel like they tied up their resources in that, but their front office, I trust more than anybody's, they're gonna find a way to like they got Jimmy Butler when they didn't have cap space.
Right. So, and Dante, I do want to speak on this, brother. No. Go ahead, Poppy.
Yeah, Jimmy, bro, he is not a number one. That's just the facts are the facts. Jimmy was born to be a number two.
See, a lot of people think Miami, they compare him to these big time superstars.
Name me some of them.
Yeah, he's not that.
Well, he doesn't. And the thing is, he doesn't have to be. I tell people this all the time. It's just like give the man his due credit. Of course, he's not like superstar level, but he is a two-way player. He's one of the best two-way players. And like he said, and Poppy, you need to agree with this.
One of the best, buddy.
The 76. No, he is one of the best two-way players. Because guess what? Sixers were stupid to give him up. Imagine James Harden with Jimmy Butler and freaking Joel Embiid with them at their peak. I'm talking about James Harden from freaking Rockets. Threes while Jimmy needs his mid-range and Joel Embiid is in the freaking paint. That's destructive. That team would go into the finals. Ain't nobody would debate that with me.
Well,
that's stupid.
Well, Miami, no, that's wrong. What Miami need to do is call Brooklyn and give up everybody in that goddamn thing and keep Butler. I would keep
crazy,
Butler.
Poppy.
They need to call Brooklyn. They need to call Brooklyn. Gave up Hero, Oladipo, all those other guys for Kevin Durant and bunch of draft picks. That's what I would do if I'm Pat Riley.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, Durant not leaving.
Dante, what do you think about that? Shawnee, you too.
You never know. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Durant only signed for 4 years. This is year number 3. This is year number 3. Going on 4 years.
He got one more year.
Now he signed an extension.
Exactly, but you never know what's going behind the scenes. Like they seen that all these things haven't worked yet. He haven't worked out. Yeah. And Kyrie is kind of crazy, bro. I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant's worn out. I'm pretty sure he is.
He's worn out.
You trying to team Durant with Jimmy, which will work because Durant shown he can basically play in the system or whatnot. But I'm saying, I ask this: do you think Jimmy Butler is a better player than Chris Middleton?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this, Shawnee. After this performance, yes. Because listen, he's been.
So Chris Middleton is a good player.
His scoring efficiency is like higher than it ever was. It was good in 2020 playoffs or finals. The playoffs and the finals. But this, he just practically carried the whole freaking team. If I'm going to be real,
I think they are neck and neck, and I think Jimmy can have the edge because, like you said, that efficiency with Jimmy. But they neck and neck. So that's why I say Jimmy can be the best player on a championship team if you give him another player like a Chris Middleton
or Drew Holiday.
I'll take Drew. I'll take Middleton over Drew.
I would take Middleton. I would take Middleton over there, but Drew Holiday is not to be slept on too.
No,
but he's not.
Shawnee, you are wrong, Shawnee. You got two number twos, bro. You got a 2 and a 2 equals 2.
But that don't matter though. They don't matter because what does Jimmy do by that's better or anybody better than the NBA? What does he do?
Middleton is a better shooter, way better shooter than
Middleton is a better shooter. Middleton is a better shooter, but Jimmy is an elite closer.
He closes games out.
You let your team do what they do. Jimmy will show up in the fourth because Jimmy will still be the best player. Middleton, and then if you put him a good team around him, they can play defense. You put some 3-point shooters. Everybody's so used to having these icon type stars to lead their team. If you put a good team and Jimmy Butler is your number 1, let him do what he do best. You already know he's gonna give every ounce of blood the dude has on the court. His best thing is once he's efficient and he will close the hell out of games, especially in big games. You let him shine in that. You got Middleton. Middleton can provide some extra scoring. They both can close actually, and then you get some other key players that can shoot and all that defense and whatnot. You don't have to have these Steph Curry's, LeBron James, Ja Morant type players all the time. They can get away with, they can cover more gaps that a team might have. Jimmy can't, but if you put Jimmy on a good team and let him do what he do best, he can lead a team to the championship.
Yeah. He's shown that to me this year because what's going on, Sir Hell? What's going on, man? Appreciate you for checking us out, man. What's going on, Marcus? I see you in the chat. I see you say you got the Warriors in 6. Man, I appreciate that. But what I'll say before I transition to the finals, I'll say this. It's not out of the realm of possibility of it all falling apart in Brooklyn. I don't know if KD looking over his contract. I don't know if he has a no trade clause or if he will force a trade, but he's under contract until 2026. Nike don't want to fool with Kyrie right now on a heavy term, and the Nets don't want to give him a long-term extension. It was rumored. I think there's no way hell it would happen.
Oh, that Laker trade. Oh my goodness.
There's no way.
Yo, Dante. You know what I just thought of? The boys brought this up. What about Kawhi and Jimmy Butler? Do you think that would work?
Man, I don't know if it will work on Jimmy's end. Just because Jimmy, what I heard, what happened, well, maybe he might have the respect for Kawhi, but what happened in Minnesota is like his philosophy was, man, I came into the league, I was this, just work on your game, get better. Just work on it, get better. And he's going to show up and play as much as he can. All the low maintenance and different things, because Kawhi, as much as he's probably, from what I've heard, similar to other players as far as the diva status, but since he's quiet and you only hear from Uncle Dennis and you only hear from her every now and again, he kind of just flows under the radar. But he plays when he wants to play. He forced himself out of a great organization, in San Antonio. He gets no slack. He gets he just floats. And better yet, before last year, that's the first year in LA that he's made the conference finals. And he just floats on by like, hey, I miss a whole 82. It's cool.
He did. He missed the whole season.
He missed the whole 82. They missed the playoffs. So it's kind of one of those deals where he floats by. I don't know if that will mesh, but as far as defending on the wing, that'd be hell to pay. That'd be hell to pay. Just similar. It would be a little bit better than what he has with Paul George right now. But it's just the fact of he wants to be out in California so much that he decided to play for the Clippers.
I got you. I feel you.
But I feel like it's going to be it's going to be an interesting offseason. I was going to say it. I didn't put it on the topic list, but I was glad the Lakers, before I get to the teams and it's going for the chip, I'm glad they hired Darvin Ham. I know I was on a Lakers YouTube page and they were like, I don't like the move. They should have got an experienced coach. I'm like, look, man, we just dealt with an experienced coach. He was cool. He felt like he fell on the sword. He still won us a ship. I have no problem with Frank Vogel. I wasn't down with that move when they made it. I wanted Tyronn Lue, but they botched that situation.
Tyronn Lue.
The Lakers
you mean LeBron's own coach?
Such a bad job of managing. Vogel heard he was getting fired in the press conference, and everybody knew it. That was a mess. The 3-year deal, that was a mess. You give if the standard is 4 years, you give the 4 years. You let the man pick his staff and stop the bullshit. So it's just I like Darvin Ham. He's gonna be respected. And then I saw something silly, and the dude was just like, well, they just picking him because they won that championship, and they won that championship because the Nets were hurt and this. And I was just like, bro, if we're gonna go through that through every year, life is not 2K. We can't turn the injuries off, man. When are we going? We can't turn the injuries off. And when you complain about the bubble, we can't say, hey, let's turn the pandemic off and let's play and fill up the arenas. Bro, this is real life. The situations happen. But I feel like Darvin Ham, from what I've heard, insiders, he's going to be a solid coach. He's a guy they respected. He's respected. They made the choice. LeBron's happy with the choice. So, of course, some people are going to say, hey, LeBron picked the coach, so on and so forth. But I just want to find a way to get rid of Russell Westbrook.
Don't send him to our team. Do not. He would break that team asunder.
Anybody that picks him up, more than likely, only team I heard that's interested in playing him is the Hornets. But if you look at it, look what happened when Westbrook left the
Wizards. Bradley Beal and
when he was there, they made that's my other thing with Bradley Beal. You needed Russell Westbrook to make the playoffs. You needed John Wall to help you make the playoffs. You can't lead this bad team in the East when it was bad to the 8th seed or the play-in. I know you were hurt this year, so it's just I don't want to hear the superstar talk with him, but if you take him to a place like Charlotte, he's going to play hard. He's going to be available. He's going to do the same stuff, bad shots, stat padding. You're going to see that. but he's also going to show those guys how to be professional. Some of his problem with James Harden in Houston. Like, you showing up late, like, that guy's putting in the work.
Yeah.
The Rockets bro.
Dude, don't get me started on that. Like, that team wasn't nearly as it should have been. But at least, and this just comes from me more often than not, Westbrook. I don't think he's ever had to pull like Harden and KD, literally. James Harden may have not won a championship, but he can lead a team. But Westbrook can't do that, as far as I can see.
Well, I'll say that he's a better player at. Well, the best thing I'll say is he's a better shooter.
Athleticism, I'll give him that, but that's it.
Harden is a better shooter, so the ability to, in this day's NBA, the ability to shoot, he's been able to lead a team at least to the conference finals. But as far as accountability, showing up when you need to in the big games, that Russell, in his prime, Russell Westbrook was going to do that more than anybody, because everybody forgets when James Harden disappeared in that finals and he started showing those traits of playoff James Harden in the beginning stages. KD didn't have the best game. Who dropped 47 in Miami? Russell Westbrook. Like, he's a guy that's going to come up and show up and play. And he's going to give it his all. It's just that he never learned, hey, bro, pass the ball. Like, he never learned. Iverson never learned. Carmelo didn't learn till later. A lot of guys don't learn because you made it to the league being how you are, and everybody just deals with it. But just like in another sport, TO, when you slip some, people are not going to deal with that crap no more. And they're going to get you out of town. And so it just, I think it would be good. I know people will be mad at it, but it's like him playing with LaMelo, he's going to show them how to work hard. And I bet you they might make the playoffs if the rest of the talent is good enough. They might make the playoffs, and you'll be like, that's Russell Westbrook impact. And I heard Bomani Jones say it, and I'll give him his credit. That should be his job the rest of his career. You're not going to win a championship with Russell Westbrook, but he's going to show your team how to lead and win. He's like Chris Paul, but a lesser version. You're gonna win with him. It's gonna be frustrating, but your ceiling is only so high. It's only so high with him, and that's just how it is. And it's like
basically
Hall of
that's
Fame player,
his game,
You know, top 75, but he's not a championship level guy, and that's just that. But speaking of championship level, man, everybody get a shiny start with you, man. Give your pick. How you think this series gonna go, man? How many games?
Man, I got
Warriors in 5.
I don't want to be, I guess, disrespectful to the Celtics. I would say Warriors in 5, but the Celtics are a good team, so I say Warriors in 6. And my biggest thing is that the Celtics, if you look at who they played, and they can't help who they played against in the playoffs so far, but they played a Nets team who was basically just ISO ball with 2 players. Then you move over to the Bucks team, who gave them a good challenge. You visibly saw when the Bucks beat Middleton at the end of games. That was a big, benefit for the Celtics there. And then we just saw how they played with the Heat. It's just for whatever reason they make the game harder on themselves towards the end. With the Warriors, you can't, and plus with the Nets it was Durant and Irving. With the Bucks it was Giannis, and then with the Heat it was Butler. They can key in on their main players. You can't do that against the Warriors. You can try to key in on Curry if you want to. Clay will go off. Poole is just coming out. He would drop 35 on you in a heartbeat. Yeah. And so it's just the ball movement with Draymond, giving the ball to folks. The ball gonna stay hopping with the Warriors. So the Celtics just can't key on a player. Now I know they can defend a team like the Warriors, but just how they playoff run has gone so far, they always have to key on the primary player. Warriors are not like that. And then the Warriors are also a good defensive team. So I say Warriors in 6 just because of their ball movement and their multiple points of scoring that could come, especially with the emergence of Poole. You may try to worry so much about about Steph, who's going to work the hell out of Marcus Smart, how much he moves about the ball. And meanwhile, you got Clay doing the same thing. And then you got Poole, whoever going to be guarding Poole. And Celtics like to do they switch. The Celtics are trying to copy, which really is probably the best team that was challenging the Warriors, where they were the best team that was challenging the Warriors during their more they juggernaut seasons, was the Rockets, when they kept switching. Well, that's what the Celtics do. So I know they can play defense against the Warriors. It's just not going to be against. It's not going to be how they were against the teams in the Eastern Conference. They completely different than that, and also they can play defense on your players too. So right now I got Warriors in 6.
I got Warriors in 6. My thing is,
I got Warriors in 5.
I would like to see a competitive series. I'm interested to see how long it's gonna take for like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to get irritated as hell with Marcus Smart. I can't wait to see that. Like that game with inside the game. To hear Draymond talking his stuff. Like I'm interested to see in that part. But it would give me so much joy to see the Celtics lose on their home floor in Game 6. It would really, really make me smile, because it just it was just frustrating. It's just like, man, they keep winning. They're a really good team, but I just really think that it might be time for it to run out, because Jason Tatum, he can really carry you a good ways. But it just, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, can they get enough from everybody else? Is Al Horford going to be able to step up and make enough plays? Is Smart going to make enough plays? And then as far as they play small ball, and, Kevon Looney, he's been a problem. I think he's earned himself a contract, and it's going to be one of those deals where
him and Brian Williams, they're going to be working each other.
Yeah.
They're going to be working each other.
Williams, Horford, Looney, that's going to be like an interesting matchup to see. Draymond Green, I put him, of course, in there too, but it's going to be real interesting to go. And then the Celtics, I would suggest, it sounds easy. They better not let that get past 10 points in that Game 1, because I want to say it's not the Oracle to me from seeing it, but it still looks like it's raw. And when Steph hits one of them dagger threes, you got to call a timeout. It's like you got to call a timeout.
It's going to be different.
Dude, it's Steph Curry. We got to say,
if you don't call that timeout, it's going to go from 12 to 22 in the blink of an eye. And, I know that Klay, he's not the Klay that we were accustomed to, and he's not supposed to be from the injuries.
Well, he's showing it. He's showing it back right now.
He's showing you glimpses. No, he's showing you glimpses for sure. But I'm willing to see who else is going to kind of step up and make some plays. But however it goes, I'm just hoping for a good solid at least 6 game series. I don't see this one being 7 unless there's an injury or something, which does happen. But
on Warriors and not Celtics and Warriors but that's not happening.
Nah, I don't see him pulling off. I've been wrong all postseason, so. But I'm definitely think the Warriors got it. Like Marcus, he caught it a while back. I didn't see it because I thought the Suns were better than them, but obviously the Suns laid an egg against the Mavs.
Don't get me started on that, bro. I still can't believe they lost of all things.
The Suns robbed us of a better Western Conference Finals. We could have, instead of having the dud that we had, instead of having the gentleman sweep, and like we got with the Mavs, which was kudos to them. We could have got a much better series with the Suns and the Warriors. But
the Warriors, I would have loved that, man, because dude, that was the one Western Conference Finals I was looking up to, that matchup, because that would have been fire, bro. That's a 7-game series to me.
Yeah, that would have been a tough one, because it's like they got the wing guys to go out and guard them. But I'm looking forward to.
Actually, they're probably mirrors. I'll say they're mirror images of each other. The difference is, you don't have a Steph Curry in that team, so you got to make do with Chris Paul.
Nah, I want to say they mirror images, because I think the Warriors move the ball better than they do.
Yeah. No. That's why I turned it up, because I wouldn't say mirror images. I would say how they play. But more often than not, Warriors move the ball a lot. It's a lot of freaking in zone, and there's a lot of freaking just shots being made. It can to anybody. Anybody could be an offensive weapon on the Warriors. That's how I see it. Like, they're nothing but offense to me. They have defense, clearly defense, but they're more offensive, like just gunslingers.
I believe it's statistically they are better defense than the Celtics. I gotta go look at that again, but so they can play defense, but they just got so much weapons on that offense. You can't just key in on one player, which the Celtics was doing, the whole playoff run. You key on one player if you want to, then you're gonna see one of them old school Clay performances. And if he has one of those, that I think if Clay has one of his old school performances, that game will be a blowout. Yeah. That game will be a blowout.
I got the Warriors. I got the Warriors in 6.
Man, I just want the Warriors to win anyway.
They got too much firepower. They got too much offense. I think that's where Boston kind of lacking of, especially coming from the East. You know, in the East, the teams in the East, they play a little bit more defense. The scores stay like around 105, between 99 105. That's like at the range. The Warriors can run it up all the way to 110, and like literally in the third, fourth quarter, like it ain't no problem. They got the guy Jordan Poole. He's coming on. He becoming a star. He come off the bench, drop 20, 30 points on your head. It's sad because the match is all about matches, bro. You got Clay and you got Wiggins playing in the wings, right? They're gonna match up with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, so they're gonna watch each other off, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got Steph. Steph is a 25, 30-point walking man. You see what I'm saying? Then you got the centers. You got what is the guy that plays center for?
You got Williams. You got Looney.
Yeah, they're gonna watch each other off. Like whatever. Yeah, whatever they give you is like an extra. They just need just to rebound, 7 to 10 rebound. They did their job. And then you got the wild card, Draymond Green. He's just gonna run the offense a little bit, drop about. He's gonna grab about 8-9 rebounds. He's gonna give you 6 assists. He's gonna play. He's gonna organize the defense. That's what I'm saying. So I'm pretty sure.
If that.
Yeah, I mean Draymond was gonna. He usually gonna stay around 8-9 rebounds. You see what I'm saying? That's like his average.
Yeah, I know. His average. Okay. Fair.
And then he's gonna give you only like about 6-8 points, but that's why he do it anyway. He more like he a passer. He's gonna give you at least 6-8 assists too. So I believe if everything goes right, Golden State should win 4-2.
Yeah. When the Warriors go small, they got Draymond as the 4, right?
Yes, sir. At the 5.
So when they go small, and if the Celtics keep Williams at the 5, most likely they're gonna have Horford at the 4. So you're gonna have to imagine, you know Draymond. The main thing Draymond do, he goes right in that middle of that court, and he makes himself available for everybody. And Horford, what, 37 years old? He playing 35. He playing hella good for 35, and he's a hell of a defender. But just the way Draymond plays, and Horford gonna have to be on his heels the whole game, just because Draymond just moves that ball. And he is not going to stick with him. So Horford gonna have to keep. Well, Celtics do have some rim protection with Williams, but like I said, that Warriors ball movement, it just moves. It just moves.
And you want to know something else? They might get Gary Payton second back.
Oh, I forgot about it. Yeah, what are the chances that happening?
I was looking forward to see, and that because Kerr was saying that him and Otto Porter Jr. are gonna be both gonna be questionable, and I was just like, yo, if it's gonna be questionable, that's gonna be a problem. Of course, the injuries that Robert Williams been dealing with and Marcus Smart, they're gonna be questionable as well. But I would say if you can get another perimeter defender to put on either Tatum or Brown, that's just extra. That's just all the more to help out. So it's gonna be interesting. I want to see somebody. I don't know if he's a free agent, but he's been having a hell of a postseason. Derek White from the Celtics. Like
yes.
So what we just pick him up for the Heat?
Man, that's a Heat player. That's the kind of, like when they say I joke about it, but the culture of the Heat. Like it's not the
Derek White
Spurs, but it's similar.
Okay.
And I feel like that's somewhere it could go.
Oh, bro, I would get rid of 2 players for Derek White, and then, bro, honestly, I thought about this. Give me Damian Lillard. Fuck it. You want a shooter? Get Dame over there. Shit. And he never misses. No. I know he never wants to leave Portland because remember he wants a team built around him, and that's the biggest thing. I do want my man Dame to get a ring one time, but Portland ain't got nobody for him. That's the problem.
Up there to Portland,
here's the thing.
Like, they haven't made the finals ever.
Portland would have to put up such a great offer to get somebody. Now, they did clear their books when they finally got rid of CJ McCollum, and they have
CJ was so good.
Yeah, they have I think the 7th overall pick in this year's draft, and so that's a little bit lower than probably to get somebody that can really help Dame. So I would say that if I were their GM, either that pick would be in play, or I would tell Dame, you're healthy, you're 100%. We're telling teams that, tell us where you want to go, we'll do right by you. It has to be one of those two ways. It can't be, we're just going to draft the guy, wait on him to develop. Got to remember, Dame was a guy that went to college for 4 years. Dame was already past 30. And
he's past 30. He's still balling.
Dame time is running out. Time is running out. I really want to see that guy I want to see him on competitive teams, man, in the playoffs, because it's fun. The antics him and Russell Westbrook was going out with him when he was just, I put them out of the playoffs. And I want that back. I want that. That'll be fun, but it'll also be good that as quiet as it's kept, overall, the Eastern Conference was better, and I'm a Western Conference guy. I would like both conferences to be about equal, and I think if you can get something better from the Lakers as far as competing for a playoff spot, if you can get the Trailblazers with Damian Lillard back and a few other moves throughout the conference, I think it'll balance and it'll be an equally balanced league. But the only problem with that is, if y'all aren't familiar with it, it's been rumored. They've been sitting there around. I haven't been able to verify it with like a verifiable site because this time of year people put out anything. But they were expansions. They're gonna have the 2 expansion teams, Las Vegas and Seattle. And I'm like, I don't want to stress the talent anymore. You remember what there were times where the league talent felt like it was really stretched thin, and it was just like, bro, only a couple of teams can be competitive and win. And all that losing.
There was a time when that was, it's more better than what it was, to be honest.
Yeah, it's better, and I feel like you would almost have a better product if you could contract, but they would never do it. Take 2 teams. Sorry, I know they won a championship, but remember your championship. I would love for the Raptors to contract and be like, all right, we'll see y'all later. Because Canada doesn't help for the TV ratings. It doesn't. Canada doesn't help for the TV ratings, and nobody wants to go and play there because it's.
Hey, listen. One word, Drake.
They support their team up there though. They do support that team.
I'm tired of seeing the goofy shit of him on the sideline. So you can get rid of them in Sacramento, I'm cool. Those are my 2. That's what I'm sacrificing.
Drake,
one from the East and one from the West. Take or at least take, and then maybe it would still be tough to get your And the thing with Seattle is it's another West Coast team far away on the West Coast. I mean, I grew up watching the Lakers, so I'm used to going to bed later. I'm used to watching that West Coast game. But like depending on my work the next day, like that West Coast game is getting turned off early. And they moved the time. Like once LeBron came out West, they was like, nah, we're gonna move this up. They moved that other game to 6 o'clock Central. And then it was like, yeah, LeBron gonna be on like 8 o'clock. So we need them ratings. But I just don't know. I mean, there's nothing that can replace Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. There's nothing you can't pay Seattle back for that. So it's just like I dig that the league wants to do right by them. I mean, sometimes you just gotta let stuff go by. But I mean, 32 teams, that's thin.
Yeah,
and they both from the West, so that's gonna really, when they reorganize the divisions, there's gonna be some pissed off teams. They both in the West.
Yo, Shiny, I love how you said it was some pissed off team.
It'll be like my Astros all of a sudden in Texas, but they got all their games on the West Coast. But they chose to do that though, so oh well.
He's gonna be mad pissed.
Man,
so look like we got
hold on, you see what he said?
What's that?
Sir Hill was like, do you see LeBron win another title with the Lakers? As big as a Lakers fan as I am, I think that's gonna be.
I think that's it. Personally, I think that's it. Maybe he might get one more, but I don't think so. Personally,
the angle I see, and I know it's against like
he's done.
I know, you know how the Rams say "F them picks" and they wore that short to the press conference.
Yeah.
All of them for the best shot. I know he's hurt too, but the Malcolm Brogdon Buddy Hield trade for Russell Westbrook. They want Westbrook's contract for cap space. I would do that trade in a heartbeat.
Man,
because then
Westbrook,
I get a ball handler that can play football and off-ball.
Shadi, I love you, bro. He said that screwed them, bro.
They should have never picked up Westbrook. They should have never picked up Westbrook.
They should have went through with the Hill deal. They should have went through with that deal. And I heard that it was a DeMar DeRozan too. But it's like I don't know, people take it the wrong way. Bro, it's so tough to talk about such a player that I really liked his entire career. And to see him play for my team, and it's just like, hey, bro, you're past your prime, and you don't get it. Like, you can still be effective in some way, but you just don't get it. Like, I'm ready to see him go. I'm not gonna crash him too much. I'm excited for when the confetti drops and the Warriors are winning, and then it's like, all right, where to trade at? Because I know he has a chain at the time which he has to pick up the exception, and so he's slow playing it. But the Lakers are at least being a competent organization and saying, we're not trading picks for Russell Westbrook. We're not doing that. You have to put that stance up. You can't make it look like we're so desperate to get rid of them. They're gonna fleece you. They're gonna fleece you, and that's what they're trying to do.
And this question, damn, I wish we would have thought about this earlier in the show. The question that Sir Hale just brought up about is basically almost of a legacy question. If Curry, I believe Curry he has a better chance. Because right now, the Warriors, their main thing right now is depth. That team is just, they have depth. So he has a chance of getting 5.
Yeah.
And because the Lakers have screwed themselves over with that Westbrook trade, I think LeBron James is going to be stuck at 4. Unless something miracle happens with the Lakers. But I think Curry will get his 5 before it's all said and done. LeBron will be stuck at 4. And he said, does that change the conversation between Steph and... Nah, not really to me.
No, it doesn't.
Steph was blessed enough to get on an organization that did it right. LeBron, remember, he went to Miami because Cleveland didn't want to give him nobody. Yeah. The hell with that, I'm going to Miami. And then that's what started everything. If Cleveland would have treated LeBron like Golden State treated Curry, it probably would have been a different whole history of the match and stuff like that.
I had this talk with my friend who's a Warriors fan, and I was saying it, and I put it in, I drew the stats, and I was like, come on, bro. Even if he wins this one, so say for instance he wins the one Finals MVP, LeBron has 4. Then we go down to the first team All NBAs, LeBron 13, All NBAs total, Curry 8, LeBron 18, All Team Defensive, LeBron 5, Curry 0. Yeah, total 6 all defensive teams, Curry 0. Curry got 2 scoring titles to his 1, and of course LeBron has 1 assist title. And it's one of those deals to where his body of work and the 8 straight finals appearances that I can't put him over. Hold on, so you guys said
no.
You all agree that?
Sir Hill, he came a couple of episodes. Yeah, Sir Hill came a couple of episodes too late. We went through that fire. We went through that whole LG band, that GOAT debate. Nah, man, we had to leave that where it be. That debate would leave boys on the side of the road.
Okay, that
thing would be.
To the both of you, I know we got to do closing remarks and quickly, but Sir Hill, you late, man. We did that, and we all came to the conclusion Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
that is what it is. Of that era, okay, this is just for the new generation fans. I'll say this quick so we get in this. LGB in this generation is the GOAT. Michael Jordan back in his day is the GOAT. Enough said. And if you want to put Magic Johnson somewhere, be my guest. That's all I gotta say. I don't get. Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't.
Yeah, we can't do it. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie. As we wrap it up, I ain't gonna lie. I caught the and one 30 for 30. It brought back a lot of nostalgia.
Oh yeah,
it was good to see baggy shorts.
I was watching that the other day
too. Yeah, it was like, and then you saw just like with everything, money got involved and it got bad. But I almost couldn't. I
love you, Poppy.
I couldn't watch the 75 NBA thing. You know what? I'm tired of the Jordan praise. Like, we've seen it and heard it so much for 30 years. Like, I had to turn it off. I was like, I don't have nothing against it. I was like, bro, I can't hear nothing else more different. So I had to turn it up. Like, now with the Curry part, that's newer, so I can listen to it. And I listened to that as we went into the and one thing. But I mean, that's all I got for this week. Anybody else got anything to go and want to chime in, Shawnee?
No, we have to close, but looked like Sir Hill came, brought some
the disrespect.
There's some disrespect stuff right when we getting ready to close, because we naturally would have chopped that up a little bit before we had more time.
We got more time.
Man, He's a couple episodes late, because we already went through that and went around it, whatever, that whole debate.
That whole merry-go-round.
I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, man. It was a roller coaster, my man.
We need to do what's that who is that does that? That plays them clips. Vlad in the middle of the interview, just play a clip. Yeah. We need to go play the clip. Like when we settle
it up. Clips of who's better.
Yeah, play that and then be like, look,
sorry about that, but it must be done. LMB. Okay, man. I mean, all I gotta say before we end it, for closing remarks is don't people stop shitting on my man Jimmy Butler, aka Jimmy Buckets. The man. Yeah, please. This man, dude, he had 40 points in every playoff series, twice in the Celtics series. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why they were giving him comparisons. Now, granted, he ain't a superstar, but he is a star. And we better respect that dude. Dwayne Wade vouched for this man. So I don't want to hear nothing.
And I want to
say, that's one of the greats.
I appreciate Shani. I appreciate all the Black man for having this platform. You can have a product and say a guy lost and still give him his props. You can do that. And I appreciate this platform for being able here to do that. So, man, I appreciate kicking with y'all week. Appreciate you, Poppy. Appreciate you, Jay, for coming in. Marcus, hopefully hear from you next week, man. But this is Black Man Unfiltered Network. It's the 1-on-1 sports show. Man, I'm Dante signing out.
And I'm Shani. Appreciate y'all for joining us.
Thank y'all. See y'all next week.
Bye.